Hello everyone, my name is Spero, Customer Success Manager here at VKS. Here bringing you another guidebook of the week, and this one's going to be on machining. I'm actually going to show you two instructions. One is going to be on machining, the other one is going to be on the cleaning or deburring process after the machining. So I want to show you, they're very complementary, both of them. This type of stuff here can be applied to any type of machine that you have. The one that I have here, I actually consider like a medium size, and let me show you the instruction here, like that. So this machine here, I actually consider a medium size, and that's just because we have, in the facility that I work out of, larger machines, smaller machines, so and this one's kind of in the middle of everything. This type of process, this type of instruction can be applied to any size machine, and it can be applied to any number of operations. So I have my little tombstone example here. And so the one I'm going to show you today is just going to be a single operation. So it's going to be just one operation done on one side of a tombstone. You could apply this to multi-operations. So one here, rotate, operation 2, operation 3 on top, here's operation 4, here's operation 5. If you have a multi-operation, the same thing can apply to that. It just takes a little bit more detail to show that process. But I'm just going to have a single operation one for you here. So in this one, there's a little bit of data collection. There is some videos in one of the processes that I want to show you. It's a super cool application of VKS, but we'll get started. So we do have some data collection. We've got our work order number tracking, our quantity tracking, our run times, and of course you can scan this stuff in from a barcode. I am going to just type some stuff in here. Looks like a proper work order number, right? I don't have many jokes this time around. Usually I talk about my shirt or my pants or something. I'll have more jokes for you next time. I'm still in my basement, right? Still got the basement behind me. I haven't put up any kind of curtain or anything yet. That'll be a fun little surprise when I do that. So we're showing our machine. We are showing the blank stock of the material that we're using, and just the machine in general. So we're showing that. Could show more, right? Could show tools, could show other things if we need to. In our case, or our example here, we've got all our stuff hanging out on the work, what is that? The toolbox there. So we're going to show our process. We've got our tombstone already installed. You could have a instruction or process for actually installing the tombstones if you need to, right? In this case, we already have it installed, so what we're going to do is just load in our bar stock. We are going to locate it, and we're going to locate it on the bottom of the fixture like you're seeing here. This is really important, right? So if you are ever dealing with machining, you know that the product has to be in the same exact location every single time to get a good product, and you're going to have your stops, you're going to have your locators, you're going to have fixed stops, adjustable stops, you're going to have a whole bunch of stuff that you can mess with depending on what you're doing. So locating and knowing exactly what you locate against is very, very important. Now we're showing a process of how to tighten up the product here. Using an Allen wrench, tighten up the Mighty Bite hex clamps and apply pressure to the part. So we're showing you with arrows here what we want you to do. After that, we're going to rotate the clamps and we're going to tighten up these clamps in a sequence here. So you're seeing that as well. So we're actually showing some sequencing, order of operations, order of what you're supposed to be doing, step 1, step 2, step 3, and so forth. Inspection type stuff, you can do that too, right? So I have a Shim Check in here, and this is just to basically just double check, make sure everything looks good. And the shim should not be able to go between the bottom of the bar and the fixture as shown. If it does, we're telling you, hey, give it a little tap, make sure it doesn't go in, make sure it's seated correctly and properly. So we're going to make sure that the parts are seated, we're going to make sure that all the clamps are tightened, and we're going to make sure that we have all our tools and our equipment out of the area. I've actually seen people just leave tools and hammers and wrenches and things like that just sitting on the tombstone, and then the machine runs and does its job, right? So we want to be careful of that. Because we want to be careful of that, we have some checklist items in here. So we just have a checklist to make sure that we've removed all the tools and that the clamps have been tightened or torqued if necessary. So you could apply torques to these items and explain that in the process. This is part of the traceability, of course. So as I'm checking this box and hitting save, a record is being saved. And then we have that, and you know that Spero said that he tightened all the clamps and said that he pulled all the tools out of there. We're going to rotate the tombstone if need be. This could change per product, per machine, per anything, but this is just our process here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to verify some items before we run the program. So now we're getting ready to run the program. We're going to verify our tooling, and we're going to check what pallet's being used here. Now, I could have attached like a tool sheet here or something. I didn't do that. We just have a tooling and some items that are on the controller itself, so we're just verifying that. You could always do more here. Select what pallet's being used. Maybe you just have one pallet. Maybe you have multiple. You could select what pallet's being used. And this is just something we did for data collection because we actually noticed on a couple of the jobs that pallet 2 was returning different results than pallet 1. And how we identified that was through something just like this. And then we're verifying program number. So we're telling you what program number to use. Okay, so now you're going to see at the bottom here it says press next when program complete. So right now in this case we are letting this run. The machine's doing the job, now we can do something else. What are we going to do? We are going to either go and run another machine, we are going to work on another pallet of product. Maybe we're going to go down and deburr some items or clean up some product that's already been machined, and that's another big part of things as well. So let's say we take on that scenario where I'm actually going to clean up some of the product that is already been machined in this case, right? So I'm going to go down, I'm going to open up my work instruction for the deburring process, and then we're going to go through that. And I think this is a very cool application of VKS. I'll show you a couple of things in here. We do have some data collection in this one. There isn't a lot. I probably don't even need to have this in here, but I've got the order number, production quantity, all that stuff that we're doing in here. Production time, I don't know, 12 minutes. Sounds good, right? Again, pull that stuff from an ERP, scan it in from a barcode, whatever you want to do, you can. So we've got our product. We're showing how it looks. We have some checklist items in here. So we just have some basic sanity checklist items, make sure things look okay. The parts aren't all messed up and bent out of shape when we get them. Now this is what I like about VKS. You can have a couple of different ways of showing something. We're talking about our process here, right? So we have our picture and we're saying grind ends of the Y bar 3 sides to an angle of 45 degrees using a 90-degree die grinder with a 100 grit disc. So I'm telling you the paper to use or the grit of the disc to use. I'm telling you the die grinder to use. I'm telling you the tool. I'm telling you how to do it, and I'm showing you a picture of it. In addition to that, I always love to add videos to things like this. You can really clearly show a process using videos. And maybe this is something that I do every day and I don't need the video, or maybe this is something I haven't done in 6 months and I just want to see a video just to make sure, right? So you can always add videos to processes. And in this case, I've attached a video on the side here using our attachment feature. I can select that video and I can see the process here of how to deburr and grind the angles in. So I can see that. So this is here for you if you need to. It opens up in a separate window like you're seeing. I don't know if I'm pointing. Yeah, I kind of am, I guess, huh? Over that way. You see the video in there and all that. So we're showing that process, right? I love using videos for deburring of machining products. I love using videos for like paint processes and any little details, nooks and crannies that you need to see. It's always a good supplemental item to have it on the side of the instruction. And if the operator needs it, it's there. Information right at the operator's fingertips. I really didn't have to, but I added one here as well, just for kind of a standardized process and how you're supposed to deburr these holes, right? Maybe somebody wants to kind of hop all around and they don't know exactly what they're doing. This at least shows them, hit them all in a row. And this one's a simple process. We're throwing our stock, completed stock onto a rack. When at this point, maybe we say, oh, okay, our machine's done, right? Let's go back up and let's pull the items out of our machine. So we go back up, we hit next on our machining instruction. We're going through our process. We're opening up the doors and here's our stock. We're gonna clean it off, spray it off with an air gun. And then we're gonna tell you how to remove the product, right? We're gonna say, hey, loosen up those hex clamps, the mighty bites, and then loosen up the other clamps. rotate, and then we're going to pull the stock out. Place the stock down so we can clean it and deburr it. And then we're going to clean off our fixture, and then we're going to get to the point where we are restocking. So we're just going through our cycles. Okay, now I'm restocking with 4 more units, and now maybe I go back down and I deburr those product that I just pulled out. So this, I think, is a really good application for machining. And like I said, you can have multiple operations here. So if you're doing multi-sided operations on a tombstone, you can do the exact same thing here. This was just a simple one to show you, and especially so I didn't have like a 20-minute video here or something like that, you know. But this is the machining and the deburring process that you can follow through and you can use basically anywhere. Anywhere you're doing machining, any size machine, you could do anything with this. All right, so I want to say thank you very much again for checking out the video and the whole series. All 3 of us, there's 3 of us now, which is super cool. Shan, Matt, and myself, we're having a lot of fun doing these, and I just want to say thank you very much for checking these out. And we are going to come back to you, of course, with more content, more cool stuff, so stay tuned for that. One additional thing, just to say at the end here, we do have a webinar coming up on the, holy cow, can I find it real quick? Oh, can I find it? I don't know. Where is it? It's somewhere. You probably saw the screen flash, but that's fine. Okay, April 28th. Maybe there's going to be a link down below just talking about the where the webinar is. It is for Modern Machine Shop. It is April 28th. There's going to be a machining webinar that we're doing. Just throw a plug in for that real quick, little shameless plug. And again, thank you very much for everything. And look forward to the next super cool video from us.